Yeah, the game week. We got the
Here
Penn
we
State
go.
Nittany Lions from State College, Pennsylvania. How sick is that?
State College,
Yeah, it's dope. We
Happy
got a few
Valley.
buddies going in this weekend. Almost went, but I got other things to worry about. What we got? Alumni from Penn State. Keegan Michael Key comes to mind. Sad that they can't do the James Franklin bit anymore. That was always hilarious. I always found that super funny.
I got an alumni for you.
Oh, give me one.
Brian Koshnosh. He is the Shore Conference single season leader in hits.
There we go. There we go. Woo.
Shout out to Kosh. All aboard the Kosh train.
Yeah, and then Matt Rule. Matt Rule's a Penn State alum.
Listen, if you want to go
something
football players, like they have like a legitimate football history. Like you start
Yeah,
naming
we'll
guys
go.
throughout the league.
Yeah, we can
Allen
go.
Robinson was getting into it with
Allen
Indiana
Robinson, that's
Twitter
my
a
guy.
couple of weeks ago.
A-Rob, Paul Posluszny.
Great Jaguar, great Bear.
LeVar Arrington. Who else we got?
Saquon.
Oh, Micah Parsons. It's pretty good.
Saquon?
Yeah, Saquon's decent. Matt McGloin. You remember Matt McGloin?
What about half the league's tight ends? Matt McGloin.
Oh, Mike Gesicki. Who else we got? Miles Sanders. How about forget about Miles Sanders?
How could we forget?
Trace
McSorley?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other sports, but I'm pretty sure they only do football.
Jalen Pickett.
So a true football school. Like I can't name a single sport where.
No, they're a soccer school.
No, they're a men's volleyball school. Totally forgot about that. Yeah. Louis Moore, Will Bantle. High school national champions 2017 ended up going to Penn State. Shout out to Cubs.
Penn State, heavy Ocean Township presence.
I'm gonna call them State Penn though.
I would say probably the school that the Big Ten school besides Rutgers that most kids from my area went to.
Huh. Interesting.
I didn't even take a visit. I didn't look. Never been. Like no plans to go. But yeah, no, pretty popular out from the New Jersey crowd.
Quiz for you, Keezer. When did Joe Paterno was hired in 1966? When do you think Penn State won their first bowl game? Based on that little piece of information.
Maybe not until like the 80s. 77.
No, 59. They actually won 3 bowl games before back-to-back years, 3 straight, with Rip Engel before they hired
Can we talk about Joe Pa? Is that even allowed?
Before that, irrelevance. Basic irrelevance. Like I think it reminds me a lot of kind of like the little Tom Allen bloop. And then they get Signetti. Whereas like the Rip Engel, he has
please do not compare Signetti and Joe. Please.
On the field, it's that level of impact. Yeah, Joe Paterno hired in 1966. First year goes 5-5, so not the same actually, not the same at all. But year 2. Finishes 11 in the AP poll with a Gator Bowl loss, gross, in 1967. And after that, they go to 2 straight undefeated seasons with wins in the Orange Bowl, 11-0, 11-0. They are independents at this time, so their strength of schedule isn't looked at as high as maybe it should be. They're finished 3 in 68 and then 2 in 69. And that's what really started those teams that went undefeated as an independent is what really kind of launched their dominance for about damn near 4 decades, right? With Joe Paterno. I mean, he was there forever. And he was their entire program. Didn't take until 1982 for them to win their first national title, where they went 11-1 but won the Sugar Bowl. 86, an undefeated 12-0 team with a win in the Fiesta Bowl. I'm trying to figure out who it was against Miami, another undefeated team, to win the national title. That was a big one. I think they talk about that game in the U. That was a big one. That was the one where Miami walks out with the camo off the plane. That had to be the same one. Yeah. That's the game, and Joe Paterno kicked their ass. Crazy. And then they win their third national title in 1994 with a win in the Rose Bowl. 12-0. They take down the Oregon Ducks 38-20. 3 national titles in a run. Pretty impressive historically.
Then what happened? No.
I don't know what did happen. I have no idea. But the amount of bowl games they went to, I think in his goddamn 50 billion years that he was there, they missed bowl games not very often. Toward the end, when he was starting to shit his pants on the sideline and had to run across the field mid play because he shit his pants and he was starting to lose his mind, and they kept him hired for way too long. It was just, yeah, they had that between 2000 and 04, they missed a bowl game 4 times. Didn't have a single bowl win. One thing I do respect about Joe Paterno, it seems like his bowl percentage was very high. Seemed to win a lot of bowl games.
Yeah, it's just hard to talk about him without acknowledging
why we call them State Penn.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hired this guy named Jerry Sandusky, and he did some very bad things, and he knew about it. Bad.
He knew.
Bad. Maybe
Joe Pod knew.
Possibly participated. He passed away conveniently like 2 months after that came out.
Conveniently.
He died of a broken heart. Oh, that was good.
We're going to hell.
I'm already there, brother. Yeah, and then they hire Bill O'Brien, first guy to.
What a wild job! What a wild job to take.
Poor guy. They were ineligible for bowl games their first year. He goes 13-9. Not too bad for Bill O'Brien, considering everything that was going. Probably really hard to get guys bought in when you can't go win a national title.
I mean, Bill O'Brien parlayed that into the Texans job.
Stud. Now he's at BC.
He went to the Nick Saban school coaching rehab.
Yeah. I mean, you know where Bill O'Brien got his name to fame, though, right?
Yeah, he was a Patriots offensive coordinator.
Tom Brady quarterback's coach.
Yeah, that one.
And then 2 years later, once the sanctions were gone, shout out Bill O'Brien for his service, honestly, for doing it for a school like that. Probably paid him a lot, so probably not too crazy. But
I mean, no, you're right in a sense, though. Like, he took a dead job.
Yeah.
A job that where like every third question was going to be about the shit we're like blatantly avoiding talking about because it's so like, oh, I think it's that terrible. He's like, you're just like walking into that environment like you're the next guy. You know what I mean? Like that shit is still on the press, and you sit down, you're the head guy. Like, yeah, it's a ballsy thing to do. Take that job.
Very ballsy. Yeah, and they ended up taking the Texans coaching job after that. So they're left scrambling. You know, they thought they were starting to build a foundation. Who do they go to? Well, there's this little guy who, bald, goateed man who is killing it at Vanderbilt, making them go bowling. 8 wins.
Doing the unthinkable.
8 wins at Vanderbilt. Couldn't believe it myself when I saw it. It's like, this guy's a hell of a coach. I still believe it to this day. They shouldn't have fired him. They go with James Franklin, who in his 3rd season at Penn State wins the conference. They said he couldn't win the big one. I feel like he did that pretty quickly, actually. I don't know. What is the big one? You know, can we win a national title?
Who knows, Brad?
Bill Paul only went 3 for 40 for national titles. And they didn't even play national title game. So, like, what is this idea of, like, can't win the big one at Penn State when, like, Joe Paul never had to win the big one? besides that, maybe that 86
It's
title
this
game
entitlement
against
that comes
Miami.
from literally nowhere, from being the second or third best team in the East part of the conference for 15 years. The confidence is mind-boggling.
How many New Year's Six Bowls did James Franklin win, not just appear in, but win in his time at Penn State, if you had to guess? Based on like they can't win the big one.
I'm going to say 2.
He won 4 in his time there. Lost 2 others.
They lost to Darnold, no?
Yeah, they lost to Darnold in one of the Rose Bowls in 16.
And then lost to Notre Dame.
They won the Rose Bowl in 22 against Utah. It's crazy.
You don't know what you got till it's gone, Brad.
Have fun being Nebraska. So they have a new interim coach. I don't even know who he is. Do you know who he is?
I know he knows who Signetti is because he's been coaching at Penn State since like the mid 90s, and like they're actually friends and know each other's families and shit like that. And Terry something, I think.
Terry Smith.
Yeah. But I mean, they still have Colton Ecke, who's the offensive coordinator, right? And they still have Jim Knowles as the defensive coordinator. Like, the offense really didn't change much. And Aller got hurt before Franklin got fired. Right? Or no?
I think that happened the week after he got fired.
But I mean, Gunkmeyer, however you pronounce his last name. Like, I mean, he was, Sig said it, like very highly recruited, like super talented kid, but like, the production numbers, like they don't ask him to do much. And when they do, it's not much.
Yeah.
Like his interception, he's 1 touchdown, 3 picks this year. And he's not offering what.
He's now 0-2 in his tenure at Penn State.
Now they got to get easier. The hardest. Oh, go ahead, Brad.
They're coming off a road loss to the number 1 team in the country. Now they get the number 2 team at home. So maybe they're feeling I think that could play a factor. Like the fact that they played Ohio State just last week, they get to see that speed, that strength, just that level of football, and kind of be able to adjust. You know, they get 4 more quarters of that, and they're kind of already used to that going into this week. So it could play to their advantage, especially coming back home for them. But that brings us to on Fox big noon kickoff. It's the number 2 Indiana Hoosiers officially as of like 30 minutes ago. The number 2 Indiana Hoosiers taking on the 0-5 in the Big Ten State Penn Lions at State College. The spread is 13.5. The total 48.5. All time, Indiana has yet to win in State College, and
none of that makes sense.
And the total record is 25-2 because Penn State didn't join the conference until 93. So that makes a ton of sense, actually.
No, the 48.5 and 13.5 makes no sense. Where is Penn State scoring?
They got a good run game. I don't know. Vegas probably still believes in them.
Typically,
still has the metrics.
I don't know. It's when a lot of times when these things jump out at me, like last week was like, oh, well, I don't know about that one, but I don't know. The whole to me, this is all about how Indiana handles the crowd, and if they handle the crowd the same way they did at Oregon, like this is part of the reason why Penn State isn't as good this year is because this isn't the Penn State team everybody thought it was. Like production wise, they're just not there.
Yeah, I agree. But like the talent is there. So like on a given Saturday, they can show up, especially at home.
They're
number 2 team in the country.
They're 10th in the conference in tackles for loss, and they're 13th in the conference in sacks.
All I'm going to say is they're going to look at that logo. Well, that's shocking, by the way, based on their personnel. But they're
That's
going to
what
look
I'm
at that
saying. Like
logo.
they're supposed to have at least one first round defensive lineman, at least a first or second round linebacker, and then just dudes all over their secondaries, and they can't even get in the backfield. It's kind of nuts.
I'll look at their roster a little bit. Not that I didn't do that before.
No, but because I like to like box score watch and go look at stats and see who's doing what. Like, I mean, obviously the run game is legit. I mean, the run game is legit, and Indiana's going to have to stop the run, and like that's another like just jump into the keys to success. Like, handle the home crowd, number one, first and foremost. Take them out of the game early, like you said, Brad. They literally just played Ohio State. They understand the type of athlete that is on the number one football team in the country. Indiana still has the stigma where their athletes aren't Ohio State's athletes. So maybe Penn State comes in with confidence. That home crowd, there's still going to be 100,000 people there. Now they're out on their football team, right? And you can take them out of the game early. But if they get in on their football team and they start believing, like they're going to be a factor, maybe the most important factor in this game. So Indiana has to deal with the home crowd. If it looks like Iowa, the game might look like Iowa because like Penn State's got the even though they don't have the production, the athletes to be able to go make plays on a given Saturday.
100%. That's where I kind of feel about this game coming off 2 straight blowouts. It's going to be hard to go to Penn State and win 55-10. Just well. They're loaded. I remember when I did all my game prep on these guys in the preseason, actually. So I have a bunch of highlights over here. Like on their defense, I had 7 highlights. Like these are like all conference level players that they have on their defense. Zakee Wheatley, probably considered one of the better safeties in the conference. Elliott Washington, AJ Harris, they're 2 corners. Dominic DeLuca and Tony Rojas, 2 of the best linebackers, by the way. Rojas is a junior. Sig. So is Elliott Washington and AJ Harris, but whatever. I'm just like trying to replace Fisher low key. Tony Rojas is so fun to come in as a stud on the DN. Tony Rojas. He's a freak athlete, man. Tony Rojas, he's gonna be playing on Sundays for sure. Same with Wheatley. DeLuca's a good player. But no, after watching this team, like it's hard for me to buy into most of these guys as NFL talents.
Well, part of the reason why that dude was so confident or thought he was like so confident in his ability to watch film, the Oregon guy who was like trying to say Pons wasn't good, it's because he correctly said Zane Durant, who people were saying was a preseason All-American, wasn't very good. And the difference between a preseason All-American and a guy who played a whole season and then was named an All-American is the production speaks for it. Yeah, the production speaks for it. And so, like, yeah, there's a lot of names on this Penn State defense, a lot of, like, guys that were probably highly recruited, but, like, production over potential, man. Like, at a certain point when you play 6, 7, 8 games into a season, like, you kind of are what you are. And it is, like, shocking, like, that they're 13th in the conference in sacks or 12th or whatever they are, right? But the fact that they're not top 5 is crazy.
They were my preseason number 1.
There were a lot. They were a lot of people's preseason number 1.
It's one of these weird things where it's like eye test, like they made it all the way to the semifinal last year. They bring all those guys back.
How good was Abdul Carter?
How? Who? Abdul Carter.
Should he have been the first pick?
Low key. NFL guys tend to make top 5 picks tend to make that type of impact for teams, don't they? Especially when
it's kind of crazy. Well, that brings me to key number 2, Brad, and that would be to stop the run, because Penn State is a really good rushing football team. They ran the ball 35 times against Oregon for 3.5 yards a carry. It was one of the major reasons why they were able to be in that football game.
Not that good of an average, to be honest.
That's not great. But they're going to be committed to running the football. They're going to run the football probably 3 times, like more often than not. You're going to see 3 rushing plays in a row probably. They're not going to ask their quarterback to do too much. The quarterback's not going to really participate in the run game. The receivers really don't get active in the run game. Like, you're going to see a lot of Allen. You're going to see a lot of Singleton, and you got to stop those guys.
Yeah, those guys are studs. Eye test wise, those guys are going to probably be 2nd, 3rd, 4th round picks in the NFL draft. They're probably going to be some of the highest rated running backs coming out.
Yeah, I was a Singleton guy going into the year, but Allen just blows him away in terms of production. It's not even close.
Yeah, they're very similar, like same body type. They're kind of clones, which is kind of nice. Like they just have like
It is a little bit like the way Sig likes to build his running back rooms, where like all of the guys kind of do very similar things and have the same. Like it's
yeah.
The goal really isn't to have like guys do different jobs; it's to be able to have the same attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of disagree. It was like that last year with Lawton and Ellison for sure, but this year like Roman Hemby's kind of a scat back, Lee Beebe's definitely a power back, and Black is kind of just your standard can do it all.
I mean, that's the way they play, but they're all like 5'10", 5'11", 205 to 215. BB was a little heavier, but
Black is 225 for sure. But he's like 5'8".
I don't think so. I think he's like 212.
Yeah, he's probably that weight, but he's 5'8". So he's like a lot bulkier, Maurice Jones-Drew type build.
Oh, what's his Hemby keeps getting like versatile player of the week or whatever. I'm not even sure what that award is, but he keeps winning it.
For like, oh, is it like a national?
It's like a national like positional versatility award.
Oh my god, I should know this. I think it's named after a guy that went to Stanford. The
Andrew Luck Award?
No.
The Oliver Luck Award.
Oh god. Sorry, I'm looking it up.
Wait, no, I full blown expect Penn State to try and run the ball 40 times this game.
Good luck. Best run.
They're gonna try because that's their only path of it. Because they're not going to throw it. Like, key number 3 would be defend the deep ball because they said like they said they were going to come out and take shots down the field. Like we'll see if they decide to test these Indiana defensive backs down the field. D'Angelo Pons I think allows the least amount of yards per attempt, like or yards per target attempt, or whatever the hell that stat was. And I think Jamari Sharp was like 10th on that list. So it's like
in the country.
Good luck. I think it was in the Big Ten.
Okay, I was going to say it like. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But it's really hard to move the ball against this Indiana secondary. But at the same time, like with the way Indiana's going to have to get Lewis Moore involved to stop the run, and with how much they use him to tackle, even in the box, there's going to be opportunities for Penn State to throw the ball deep. Now, nobody's been able to do it against this Indiana defense. It's really you're not beating Pons deep, and Sharp may even be faster than Pons. So it's like, good luck. But yeah, defend the deep ball.
For sure. It's definitely been susceptible throughout the year. I think Farrell, Boykin, and Lou Moore, Sweet Lou. They've really kind of stepped up as the season's gone on. I don't think those deep balls have been as available as they were. We're
gonna see a lot more Baldwin moving forward too.
Oh, for sure. And that's really exciting to see because he's probably going to mix into that rover and they move Boykin up to free instead of Amari or a Lou it just brings a lot of versatility and a lot of like that dime package is going to be nasty. If they want to go 6 DBs, I think Baldwin's going to be that first one out at this point. We alluded to maybe a Gandy or a Jaja Boy, but it looks like Byron Baldwin is really solidifying himself as that 6th DB.
Well, it came out last week that he was starting for most of the spring before he got hurt. I mean, he's that good.
I think Boykin was hurt. It was kind of the
problem. I mean, I'm just saying what the reports were. Those were the reports. Key number 4: win the turnover battle. Obviously, it's okay if you turn the ball over, but what can't happen is you just give Penn State unlimited opportunities. Indiana is great at not beating itself. That can't start this week.
Say that again. Say that one more time.
Indiana is good at not beating itself, so that can't start this week.
Yes, and as true as that is, like I was gonna say it earlier, like I can't wait for that narrative to turn from like I always hear the CBS guys, and they do a great job, and they love Indiana. They've been on Indiana since last year. I had to respect that CBS panel. They've been great about the Hoosiers. I can't wait for that narrative to start shifting from they're a team that just executes super well and they don't make mistakes and they don't beat themselves, which is true. That is what they are. That narrative, especially for this team, is yes, that's true, but they have a lot of NFL talent on that team. And it just frustrates me because it makes it seem like they're just like a perfectionist type team and they they beat you through their execution when that's not the case. They can out
actually, I would argue they haven't really played well since Oregon.
Yeah, like they threw that pick against Maryland, like just feeling the vibe. Like the Illinois game is like the peak of what Indiana can be. Like that was a perfect game. Like they showed out, they out athleted Illinois, and they didn't make a single mistake in that game. The other games, UCLA, weird picks. Maryland early interception as well. Both 2 first quarter picks. Have we thrown a pick outside the first? Or we threw that fourth quarter pick against Iowa.
We threw a fourth quarter pick 6 against Oregon, or maybe late third.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, the late pick against UCLA too is Alberto in the end zone. You know what I mean? So it's like, and the game was 50 something nothing or whatever the score was at that point. But no, you're right. There is a lot of NFL talent on this team, starting with the quarterback. But I mean, across the offensive line, you could make the strong argument that at least one of the running backs are. Both wide receivers should be NFL guys. Like Pons is an NFL guy, Kamara's an NFL guy, Fisher's an NFL guy. Bones looks like an NFL guy. Hardy, like these guys are.
He has an NFL neck.
Farrell looks like an NFL guy, right? Like Boykin, you'd like to see, like if Boykin had more, like if guys like Boykin and Daly and Wyatt had more time in this system, like you'd like to think based on their production numbers alone that they would get looks too.
Wyatt and Sweet Lou are definitely NFL guys.
Oh, Sweet Lou too.
It's a shame that Wyatt had and Farrell's an NFL guy too, but he might need another year based on this season. Just we'll see.
Hope so.
Wyatt, that injury is just absolutely brutal for him because he was putting up some crazy NFL tape where he was probably going to rise up to round 3, round 2, based on what he was.
I mean, he was the player everybody wants as a 3-4 linebacker or defensive end. You can drop into coverage. Like his ability to play both roles and still be effective getting after the quarterback in limited chances was.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most athletic 260-pounders I've seen in a while, to be honest.
And they don't use Daly the same way, but he's also freaky athletic too.
Yeah, 100%. Daly's a little heavier, so he doesn't have that little nimbleness to him, that quick twitch. But
they've been dropping Kamara into coverage.
The speed and the power that Daly has is definitely above Wyatt. Like Daly using that 280-pound frame with the track speed, like his bull rush should be insane.
His speed power combo is nasty, and that's why when they line him up as that second fullback, it's damn near impossible to stop them getting in the end zone.
Yeah.
And then key number 5 would be, as a team, just leave the Big Ten championship alone. Like, just forget about it for this week. Forget about it for next week. Like, just honestly, the team doesn't need to be thinking about it because if they just do it, they just handle the things they need to handle, like they're going to end up there. Just win the football games in front of you. That will be the reward.
The funniest thing about that statement is that if they lose this game, they're still in the driver's seat for the Big Ten.
Really? The way the tiebreakers work?
Depending on tiebreakers with USC.
That's funny.
That's really
just like it's
looking at the
win this game. It doesn't, and it literally doesn't. Did you see? I mean, college football Reddit, so who knows, right? Put out that the Big Ten is looking into changing the rules again if Ohio State loses to Michigan, which probably a spoof tweet, but like we watched them do it in 2020 and screw Indiana out of a Big Ten championship appearance. So obviously guard's always up when it comes to shenanigans and the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, we're going to win the game, but just to put it out there, there are 2 undefeateds, obviously, in Big Ten play. Only 4 one-loss teams left in the Big Ten play. Indiana has wins over 2 of them. Oregon and Iowa. Michigan and USC are the other ones.
But one of those becomes a 2-loss team after next weekend because I don't want to step on the slate yet. We haven't even given a score prediction, but it's a good slate this weekend. It was supposed to be a better slate, but Penn State decided not to hold up their end of the bargain. But what are you going to do? Yeah. Score prediction, Brad.
Score prediction, I think kind of that total gives me some – it's going to be loud. I think Penn State defense is going to show up. I think our defense is going to show up too. I think it's going to be really hard for Grunkmeyer. Why they're only able to get 2 touchdowns on Ohio State. I see our defense is about equal. Let's make a score prediction of 35-14. That's a slight over. 35-14, Indiana wins handily. Halftime prediction, 14-14.
I think we score more. I'm going to say 45-17. And I also I don't know if it's tied at half, but it's probably something like no. I think Indiana takes the crowd out of it early. I think it's like 20-3 at half.
I would love that. I would love them to Illinois Penn State.
24
That'd be awesome.
I don't know if my math gets correct. 24-3 at half. I don't know if that math makes any sense, but
what is your final score prediction?
45-17.
Sly dog. You actually, for the first time probably ever in this podcast, you picked the other team to score more points than I did.
Maybe, yeah.
That's crazy. Because I'm usually like I'm like the Brian Haynes hater. I'm like always like, give me more. Like give me like they're shutting out teams. Like I'm like, I need more interceptions. It's not
no, last week I got closer. Last week I had 45-10. You had 42-14.
Did you know Sweet Lou is leading the country in picks?
Mm-hmm. Did you hear McShay gushing over it, or the dude with McShay? I don't know who that, but gushing over him, which was awesome. And yeah, we're still the only show to have on Brian P. Lawton, the best damn lawyer in the land. If you haven't seen that interview yet, check out the interview we have with Brian Lawton on the channel. But nobody else has talked to him yet, which is crazy. SoCal Hot Sauce has a score prediction in the chat for us, 34-13. It's been called SoCal Hot Sauce has been calling these defensive touchdowns. Called it last week too.
All right, let's think of hot takes for this game.
I think.
Do we hold Penn State to less than 100 rushing yards?
Yes, I think we hold them to like 2 yards a carry. That's a hot take. I think
that's crazy. That's
under 2.1 yards a carry.
Like, I want to look at that Ohio State box score. That would give me a lot more kind of context.
I'm going to say Indiana wins the turnover battle 3-0.
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah, Ohio State shut down Penn State, 55 total rushing yards. That's including the sacks on Grunkenmeyer. So with just between Singleton and Allen, and Katron's been getting – Katron got 21 carries last week, and Singleton got 6.
Yeah, Allen. I mean, dude, you look at the production numbers, and Allen is like, it's like here and here. They're not even close.
Yeah, Alec Keyser, Padawan of the eye test.
I spent enough time with you. Some of it's rubbing off.
It's good. It's good. They combined got around 94 total rushing yards between the two of them.
Okay, and you like to think that's on the road.
Yeah, and Singleton also led them in receiving at 28. They're not going to throw the ball downfield.
No. Which I thought was a crazy statement.
Like, they might get a Devontae Ross deep ball, but like how we've seen
a Trevor Pena go ball.
Yeah, how we've seen
a lot of Ocean Township mentions on this podcast, Brad. Shout out to Ocean Township's own Trevor Pena.
I hate that. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, if they get it, that's probably all they get in the air.
Listen, it's as much as you want to give respect to Penn State because of the logo and respect to Penn State playing at home because the 100,000 people are going to be there. It's not a great football team. Like, that's the reality. Like, they would be winning more football games if their football team was better, and that's just kind of is what it is. Like, there's a reason why Indiana has never won there in the history of their school, and it is 13. They're 13.5 point favorites.
They're so due. 200 total yards from Penn State last week.
I expect them to be right around that same number too. Like, this Indiana defense is as good as they come, and is going to relish playing in this environment.
Oh yeah.
Much like it's a lot of like these East Coast schools are very like those Virginia guys. Like, I'm sure all those dudes they wanted to play at or Maryland or Penn State or like, like any of those like coastal or like kind of middle of the country, Midwest, almost Atlantic coast schools. Like Penn State fits in that like it just does. Like
Penn State's in such a great location to where they have easy access to both the Midwest and the East Coast. Just being where
Penn State can centrally recruit the DMV area. They can like New York. They can like Eastern Pennsylvania, Western
Ohio,
Pennsylvania,
they're like
the Midwest,
a 2-hour drive from
Ohio.
Ohio. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a
great location. It's a great job. Someone should take it.
It's the frustrating part is like I don't
you
know.
You want to speculate who they're going to hire as their head coach?
If Bryant Haynes is ready, like he's by far the best hire, just based on his ability to recruit the area. But I don't know if he's. I don't know where. I don't know enough about Bryant Haynes' personal desires and where his timeline's at. Like like in my head and like in a lot of Indiana fans' heads, like it makes perfect sense. He's just going to succeed Signetti and like we keep everybody in house. And it's like, is that realistic? I'm not sure. And like, if you're Penn State, would you want to hand the keys in such a pivotal time to somebody who's never done it before? Probably not, which probably takes out a coordinator without head coaching experience from that search. But like, if you look at like a lot of the boxes you want, like in terms of recruiting, like Brian Haynes would recruit the shit out of that area easily. Like it's something he already does. Like he's in Ohio, he's in Virginia. Like
would Brian Haynes take another job besides Penn State?
Yeah. I mean, who knows what jobs are going to be open, right? Like I never would have thought Penn State would have been open. I didn't think LSU would be open. Like I didn't think Florida would be open.
You thought.
But it's like if you look at like where Brian Haynes does a lot of his recruiting damage, right? Like a lot of it's in Georgia, Virginia, Ohio. So you'd like to think that probably look at a school that recruits in those areas. So like Virginia Tech, if they had their shit together, would probably be a nice spot for him. Shanahan is a little bit like
Shanahan's a Pennsylvania guy.
I know, but he's like a lot of time in Virginia, a lot of time in like Illinois and like Tennessee, and like he's kind of all over the place. So he's not as like regionally dependent, I guess. Not that Haynes is either, but it's interesting. I think all those guys are good candidates. So that's the problem. It's like my head goes like, when do they feel like their business is finished, right? Like if they go out and win the national championship this year, which is a very realistic possibility, like do those guys feel like, okay, like my job is done here, like now it's time for my next chapter, versus like, do they feel like they have some sort of unfinished business if like Indiana can't get the job done this year? Like how much of a commitment does like it's so hard in this modern era of college football, like what is their commitment to the class of 2026, right? Because like you're telling all those kids to come and play for you at Indiana, but then like if you go take another job, like what does it mean for the class? And so there's a lot of moving parts. So like the easiest thing to do would be nothing happens, right? No change, and you just like make more money and you roll into next year with this system, and like you get 2, 3, 4 years of really dominant football, and then like you kind of start branching off from there. That's what logic would tell me. That would be probably the safest way to do it. But at the same time, like I've never had Penn State knock on my door and be like, hey, we want you to be our head coach.
Yeah, and they're willing to pay a defensive coordinator $3.6 million a year. Brian Haynes only makes about $2 million, which is still like he's still sending his kids to college, 100% job security.
I say all of that to say
the guy that hired him back at IUP is still his boss. Like,
first and foremost, from the Penn State side, I don't think they can afford to hire somebody who hasn't been a head coach before. I think that would be a mistake, and I think they need stability more so than anything.
Worked out pretty well for Oregon, but they were in a different spot. Like they're replacing a guy that left rather
than much. But that's a one of like, you could. There might be one other school spending what they can spend, maybe. It's just a little bit different.
Be successful at another school besides Oregon?
I think he could, but it's
not the juggernaut that they are.
you're not recruiting top. He's not recruiting a top 5 class to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He might be able to win football games there, but like he's not the recruiting engine. It's because like it's funny. It's like you look at it, it's like, yeah, like Brian Haynes is probably the perfect choice for Penn State. But is he mature enough? Does he have those like behind the scenes staff building qualities that it takes to be a head coach? Like, I think so, but I don't know. And so like that's the what Penn State's gonna have to figure out. But like if he was a Southern guy, like he'd be perfect for LSU, you know what I mean? But he's just doesn't have the recruiting footprint in that area. Or like Florida really wouldn't make much sense for him either. But I think him or Shanahan kind of like Shanahan less so, but they both make sense for Penn State. They both make sense for Virginia Tech as well. I just don't. Virginia Tech, I don't see either of them leaving. But I mean, man, Penn State would be hard. But at the same time, like the conversation keeps going in circles.
Like, how much are they going to pay them as how much is Virginia Tech contract going to be? Is that going to be like $3 million as opposed to the $2 million they're already making? 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that move's probably not worth it. But if you're getting offered a Power 2 head coaching job, but at the same time, like how do you
probably giving you $5 million a year?
Like, in my opinion, though, like the best way to qualify yourself for that job is to win at a lower level. Like, you look at why Cignetti was so successful, and the guy won at every single level of college football, climbing up the ranks to get from Division II, Division III level, basically, to
Jalen DeBoer.
1AA to exactly same thing. Like the guy won at a bunch of different levels, and so like maybe you do take a lesser job to prove you can win, but is that something with an elite class and only going up that either of those guys are going to want to take that like personal sacrifice that same one Cignetti made and, you know, take a bunch of steps back before they move forward? I'm not sure.
I don't think
my gut tells me that
Cignetti was the receivers coach and moved to IUP. DeBoer basically started at Ferris State and then worked his way up, went to the IU coordinator job from there and took it and ran. Or he went to Fresno State for the OC job for a year, got the IU job, moved back to Fresno for the head coaching job, and took Washington a year later. Much different path than being one of the highest paid coordinators in the country and taking a job at fuck all tech, you know? Like,
yeah, and I mean, listen, like they have a really good class coming.
That wasn't a reference to Virginia Tech, by the way. It was.
It's gonna get easier for them to recruit, and like I'm thinking, like in Brian Haynes' case, those 3 linebackers he has coming in are as good of a linebacking class as you can put together. I don't give a shit about stars. Like those dudes are all awesome. They're going to be really, really good players. Like, I don't know. I don't see the staff breaking up after this year. As maybe I'm cynical, maybe it's a little like ignorance is bliss, but it just feels like they're still building something here.
Yeah, and win a natty, things can change because I think they win the national championship. I think Penn State takes a hard look at Brian Haynes. But like if they don't, yeah, I really don't see them leaving, to be honest. But like if they win the national championship, it's like you.
I mean, at that point, it's like what like.
Sure.
What are you gonna do?
Like fine, like yeah. I think it comes with natties. It comes those types of things, right?
Yeah, we just saw with Ohio State, like
much similar to Georgia losing Dane Lanning when it happened, right? It's like
Ohio State wins the natty and Jim Knowles takes a lateral move coordinator job.
Pay bump.
Yeah, because they're paying more money.
Yeah, exactly. Chip Kelly moves to the NFL.
Yep. Yeah, and they replace both coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But we're a long ways away from that.